Welcome to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work. In the hustle of profit, product, and productivity, it's easy to neglect the how, our ethics, our conduct, and our internal state of being. But what if the secret to sustainable success wasn't found in the latest management trend, but in wisdom that's existed for thousands of years? The host of this podcast, Kimberly Killer, is here to explore the ancient concepts of Yamas and Niyamas as a powerful framework for modern leadership. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work, a podcast designed to help you apply proven lessons from the yogi masters of yesteryear to the work we do today. I'm your host and guide, Kimberly Kaler, and it's my great pleasure to share my insight on how to meld mindfulness into our work world, however you define work, as a teacher, a corporate executive, or community volunteer. Today's topic is practical leadership, integrating yamas and niyamas for trust and equity. Leadership is often portrayed as a series of strategic moves, a game of chess played with resources and market share. But at its core, leadership is a deeply human endeavor. It's about relationships, trust, and the difficult work of making decisions that affect other people's lives. When the pressure mounts and the path forward is unclear, spreadsheets and algorithms rarely offer the moral clarity we need. We need a compass that points true north, not just for profits, but for people. This is where the ancient wisdom of the Yamas and Niyamas becomes a surprisingly modern tool set. These 10 principles, for the first 5 focusing on our interaction with the world, the Yamas, and the next 5 on our internal discipline, Niyamas, offer a robust framework for what we might call conscious leadership. Applying these principles isn't about spiritual bypassing or ignoring the realities of the market. It's about bringing a level of intentionality and humanity to the workplace that fosters deep trust, genuine equity, and sustainable effectiveness. Listen on to hear more leaders, how they can move these concepts from philosophy into daily practice. The Yamas, building a culture of trust. The Yamas describe our social ethics. In a leadership context, they define the social contract between a leader and their team. When practiced consistently, they create psychological safety, the bedrock of any high-performing organization. Let's start out with the first one, ahimsa, nonviolence, the foundation of safety. We rarely think of our offices as violent places, yet violence in leadership manifests subtly. It shows up in harsh criticism, the silencing of dissenting voices, or the imposition of unrealistic deadlines that destroy our work-life balance. Practical application of ahimsa. Practice active nonviolence in your feedback loops. When a mistake happens, suppress the urge to blame or shame. Instead, adopt a curious stance. What part of our system failed to support you? This shift from blame to systematic analysis creates a safe environment where people are not afraid to admit errors, leading to faster problem solving. Satya, truthfulness, our second yama, the currency of trust. Trust is built on truth, but corporate communication often dances around reality. We use euphemisms for layoffs or hide bad news until it's too late. Satya demands radical candor delivered with kindness. Practical application. Institute a no-spin zone with your all-hands meetings. If the quarter was rough, say it was rough. Explain the why behind difficult decisions. When a leader admits, I don't know the answer to that yet, it doesn't signal weakness. It signals honesty. This transparency empowers your team to trust your word implicitly. Asteya, done stealing, our third yama, championing equity. In leadership, stealing is rarely about money. It's about stealing credit, time, or opportunity. This is a critical lens for equity. Are we unconsciously stealing the spotlight from junior team members? Are we stealing people's personal time with after-hour emails? Practical application. Conduct a credit audit. In your next public presentation or report, ensure that the specific individuals who did the work are named. Furthermore, protect your team's time as fiercely as you protect the budget. End meetings 5 minutes early. Respect the boundaries of the workday. This tells your team that you value their lives, not just their output. Brahmacharya, moderation, sustainable energy. Brahmacharya is often interpreted as celibacy, but in a broader sense, it means the right use of energy. Burnout is the result of violated Brahmacharya. It stems from a culture of excess, excessive meetings, excessive urgency, and excessive scope creep. Practical application. Focus on essentialism. Before launching a new initiative, ask, do we have the energetic capacity for this? If the answer is no, have the discipline to say, not now. Model this by taking your own vacation time and disconnecting fully. You cannot lead a sustainable team if you're running on fumes. Aparigraha, non-possessiveness, letting go of control. Leaders often hoard power and information, believing this secures their position. Aparigraha teaches us to let go. It is the essence of true delegation and empowerment. Practical application. Practice open-handed leadership. When you delegate a task, delegate the authority to make decisions along with it. Resist the urge to micromanage the process. Trusting the outcome to others is a profound act of non-possessiveness that builds confidence and ownership in your team members. Moving on to the Niyamas, cultivating our inner strength. While the Yamas guide our external actions, the Niyamas focus on our internal state. A leader who cannot lead themselves cannot effectively lead others. These observances build the emotional intelligence and resilience required for the job. Satya, purity, clarity of intent. Satya refers to cleanliness, but internally it means clarity of intention. Why are you making this decision? Is it good for the whole organization or to soothe your ego? Practical application. Before entering a high-stakes negotiation or a difficult personal conversation, take 1 minute to clean your mind. Ask yourself, what is my cleanest intention here? Strip away the desire to win, to be right, or to look good. Focus solely on the most helpful and effective outcome. This mental hygiene prevents toxic emotions from clouding your judgment. Santosha, contentment, the antidote to always more. Ambition is necessary, but without contentment, it becomes a treadmill of dissatisfaction. Santosha allows a leader to celebrate the present moment and appreciate the team's current efforts, rather than constantly fixating on the next gap to close. Practical application. Start your weekly meetings with a Santosha check, dedicating the first 10 minutes to what went right. Acknowledge specific contributions and celebrate milestones. This isn't just fluff. It rewires the collective brain to notice success, building the moral and morale needed to tackle the next challenge. Tapas, discipline, the fire of resilience. Leadership is hard. It requires the heat, tapas, of discipline to stay the course when things get difficult. It is the grit to have the hard conversations and the persistence to stick ethical standards when cutting corners would be easier. Practical application. Identify the one task you are avoiding, the one that makes you uncomfortable but is necessary for the team's growth. Do it first. Embrace the discomfort of that task as heat that is refining your leadership. This discipline of doing the hard thing creates a culture of accountability. Svatya, self-study, the mirror of equity. We all possess unconscious biases. Have the commitment to examine your own mind. Without self-study, we perpetuate systematic inequities because we cannot see our own blind spots. Practical application. Treat feedback as a study guide. When you receive critical feedback, suppress the defensive reflex. Instead, study it like a text. Ask yourself, what does this tell me about my leadership style? Where are my biases showing up? Actively seek out perspectives that differ from your own to broaden your understanding of the lived experiences within your team. Ishvara Pranidhana, surrender, trusting the process. The illusion of control is a leader's greatest burden. We cannot control the market, the economy, or the personal lives of our employees. This niyama gives us the wisdom to know the difference between what we can influence and what we must accept. Practical application. When a crisis hits, differentiate between action and anxiety. Do everything within your power to address the issue, action, and then consciously release the attachment to the specific result, surrender. This surrender is not giving up. It is an active trust that allows you to remain calm and adaptable, providing a stable anchor for your team in stormy weather. Integrating these principles into a daily practice. Integrating these principles does not require a complete overhaul of your management style overnight. It begins with small, consistent shifts in awareness. A Monday morning ritual for conscious leadership. Start first by reflecting. Svatya, look at your calendar. Which meetings might trigger stress or conflict? Set intention. Satya, in this meeting, my intention is to listen more than I speak. Check your energy. Brahmacharya, I'm going to end this meeting at 2 in time to allow for a break for all team members. And then connection. Ahimsa and Satya, I will start my one-on-one by honestly sharing a challenge I'm facing to build trust. By weaving the yamas and niyamas into the fabric of our daily decisions, we transform leadership from a role we play into a practice we live. We create workplaces where people feel safe, valued, and inspired. We build organizations that are not only effective in what they achieve, but exemplary in how they achieve it. This is the heart of ethical leadership, a path that honors both the bottom line and the human spirit.
Thank you so much for listening to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work, a podcast designed to meld mindfulness into the work we do. We invite you to subscribe as well as visit wisdomfortheworkwedo.com for additional resources. Until next time, we invite you to consider how you can apply the wisdom yogi masters of yesteryear to the work we do today, with integrity, clarity, and compassion.